Hello YouTube, this is Brian Tubbs coming at you with another video. It's going to be a quick video. Today I'm working on the two leaves. I'm not sure what we're going to call it yet, but I showed you guys a picture of it in my in the last video. It was laid out on the floor and it had these two leaves on it. Hope you guys can see that pretty good. But it's going to be two of these on there in an upright position. Like I said, I'm not sure what the piece is going to be even called yet. But these things weigh probably about 25 pounds each. So they're not really light. I think I made them, they're about 3 inches wide, and this is core 10, and then you have stainless steel vines or rods, veins in the middle. So what I'm going to do today is just show you guys how I put this thing together with the stainless steel on the core 10. Now let me put this piece away. Alright, so what I'm going to do is move the camera in a little bit closer, just so you guys can get a close-up of how I connect these leaves. We take what's known as a soapstone pencil, if you will, and just mark out on here how we want the veins to go. Like for example, this vein in the center, this is a 3/8 inch stainless steel rod, and then the smaller ones are 1/4 inch stainless steel rod, and we just kind of combine the two together. And let me bring you guys in a bit closer. Okay, so like in these positions with the 1/4 inch rod, I will lay the 3/8 rod on the piece, and then we'll decide where we want to put the 1/4 inch rods. And then what I'll do is I'll tack the 3/8 inch rod to the face of this in the positions where we're going to put the 1/4 inch rods, because I don't want to have just a weld here and then say have my rod somewhere down here. That's just an ugly weld spot. So what I'll do is I'll strategically tack this 3/8 rod, knowing where I think I want to put the 1/4 inch rods. So what we'll do is we'll take the 1/4 inch rod and just cover over where that rod was, where this 3/8 rod was welded. We'll cover over that, and then we'll tack this 1/4 inch rod to the 3/8 rod and kind of cover that spot so it will look cleaner and like it was supposed to be there. And so what I'm going to do now is just go around and just tack the inside portion of the 1/4 inch rod to the 3/8 rod. Just kind of let you guys see how I do that, because normally I'll tack inside first. Then I'll get a clamp, and I'll clamp this outside portion, making sure it's touching the face of this, and then I'll weld that to this face. So I'm gonna kind of show you guys how I do it. It's pretty simple once you get the idea of how to do it, and once you decide on the design, get your pieces laid out. It's not overly complicated. It's just come up with your own ideas. So let me get this thing laid on here, then I'll show you how we do it. I'm just kind of putting them over the weld mark, and then just getting them lined up with this edge, just making it look just normal and decent and natural. I want it to look natural, like a real leaf. Okay. I have my Tig welder set at about 80 amps. I was using 90 amps on the other piece on the other side, but it was just kind of almost too hot. So I just kind of cooled it down to 80 amps, running about 10 to 12 CFM. I'm not running that much CFM because we're going to take a machine, that we call it, and passivate these, so it's going to take all the black marks off, and so I don't have to use that much gas because we're going to take all the black marks and whatnot off with the machine. All right, so I'm going to let you guys kind of see how I do it, and here we go. And by the way, I'm using my my finger control on my Tig welder, so I can move around. I won't have to be carrying the pedal around with me. Even though I have my foot on the pedal, it's just a natural habit. But I don't have to have my foot on the pedal. I'm just using a finger control. It just push this button, and it fires it up. It takes it. I think I have it 2 seconds. When I push the button, it takes 2 seconds for it to go from 0 and ramp up to 80. And then I release the trigger. I have it set at 2 seconds to go from 80 down to 0. They call it up slope and down slope. All right, so let me go ahead and fire it up. And the only thing I'm doing is bridging the gap between this 1/4 inch rod and 3/8. I'm bridging that gap. There's a big gap in there, but I'm bridging the gap with weld. Just make sure it looks good. Here we go. And like I always say, when you're doing art, it does not have to be perfect, because it's art. It's art. It's not supposed to be perfect. I mean, you get it looking as nice as you can, but it does not have to be perfect. So you don't have to stress out saying, well, it doesn't look good enough. It looks good enough. All right, so I'm move to the next one. And while I'm looking at it, this is one of the 3/8 rods. It's all stainless steel. And this is a 1/4 inch rod. They start out straight. I put them on a bender, and I just bend them to the lines that we have drawn on here. All right, here we go. It's a lot of fun doing these. I mean, this is fine art, but people can put them in their gardens, they can put them indoors, they can put them anywhere. This is not as serious as some of our other pieces. So this is more fun building a piece like this than if I was building, like say, reaching or something like that, because those have to be almost perfect as far as the lines and whatnot. But this is more whimsical, so I'm just having fun with it. It's slightly moved, so I'm gonna move it back in place. And the thing I can do with the TIG welder is, since these, the ends of these are flat, I can take the TIG welder and round those ends to make it look more natural when I get to this point out here. So in here, they're flat, but I'm taking the TIG welder and kind of rounding them over with the heat and with the rod, so they don't look like they're just these pieces of stainless steel rod. They look like more of the vein from a leaf. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can do it on this side. And then what I'll do after I get them all laid in, I'll go back and add more filler rod where I need to, just to bring it out more, to make it just look more natural. I think I'll bring that camera in just a little bit more, just to get more of a down shot. Just want to get you guys in as close as I can, just so you can see what I'm doing. I built a new tripod. It has a extending arm. It's made of aluminum, so I can put the camera in any position I want to. I built it. It's a whole cabinet. It has the computer in it. It has lights in it. It has everything. All right. Maybe one day I can show you guys the setup. All right. Here we go. And so the way I'm bridging this gap, it's probably about a 1/4 inch gap. I'm heating up the edge of the rod, the 1/4 inch rod, and I'm heating up the side of the 3/8 rod at the same time. So I'm seeing them liquefy. Then I put this 3/32 309 stainless rod between the two, and it bridges the gap for me. All right, here's the last one. Here we go. That one did not want to weld properly, so I had to play around with it for a little bit. All right, so I have all the centers welded up. Now what I do is I'll take a clamp, just a regular clamp, and I'll clamp to the table and I'll clamp these edges so I pull them down to the piece, because right now there's a gap they're trying to stick up on the ends here. So I want those to be all the way down to the piece touching before I weld them up, so I don't want to see daylight underneath there. So let me do the first one. I'll just clamp it on and tighten it up until it touches the face. I mean, if there's a little bit of daylight underneath there, that's fine. It's not a big deal. But I just don't want this big gap. All right. All right, that's one. And that's all I'm doing is clamping it to the face. Then I just hit that front edge. Just TIG welding it from the rod to the face. And I'm taking the TIG torch. Like I said, I'm rounding that edge off here. I don't want a sharp edge there. I want that to be smooth. Actually, it's a lot less stressful building something like this as opposed to one of the other pieces, because you don't have to be as strict and strenuous and all that stuff trying to get it perfect. This was a design that my wife and I came up with. We were going to go with some, just some round 3-inch diameter tube to make the portion that these will sit on going up. But then she came up with a different idea and I came up with a different idea. And we put the ideas together, and you guys saw the piece that was laying on the ground of how we're gonna do it. So after this video, we're gonna go ahead and put everything together, and I'll either let you guys see that, or you just probably see the finished product. I'm not exactly sure yet how it's gonna work. I tell you, if you don't have a TIG welder, when you get a TIG welder, if you can afford it, or make a, I don't like to use that word afford, because whatever we desire in life, we can figure out a way to get it. So I won't even use that word afford. It's when you buy your TIG welder, if you can find one at your price point with a finger control, get it. Because I'm doing what we call bigs, outdoor pieces, and then walking all around the table, you know, welding and tack welding. I don't want to have to be dragging the foot pedal with me. So I just use a finger control. I just set it at an amperage that I think won't burn holes into the piece, and I set it at that, and I go around and do all the tacks. You can't beat it. See if I can get you guys a better shot of the finger control. It's just this thing right here. I just push it with my finger and it fires it up. You can either buy your TIG welder with one, or you can probably, I'm sure you could find one after the fact. But I tell you, before I got one, when I was using my Lincoln 200, I didn't have one, and I didn't think I would need one. But when I got this new welder, this Weld Pro 200, it came with one, and it come with the CK Worldwide torch and the finger control. I wouldn't trade this thing for the world. It's that good, that nice to have. I use it all the time, especially when I'm not just sitting here just welding something. If I'm just, after I've tacked with the finger control, sometimes I use a foot pedal because I'm just sitting here at the table. Like, for example, this is TIG weld. I was just sitting here, just TIG welding. I would use a pedal because I didn't want it to get too hot and start trying to burn holes through. And with that, I can control it with the foot pedal easier than the finger control. Like I said, the finger control, I can set it to 2 seconds from 0 to 80 or 0 to 100. Or I can set it at 5 seconds or 10 seconds. It just depends on how fast I want to ramp up and then ramp down. But even with that, it's still easier to burn holes with your finger control than it is with your foot pedal, because the foot pedal I can ramp on, ramp off. It doesn't matter. I can do it as fast as I need to. So when you get your finger control, I mean, you can practice welding the entire piece, or you can just use it like I do to tack everything. Or if it's a really thick, if it's 1/4 inch, 3/8, 3/16, you can use your finger control. You don't need the foot pedal, because the metal is thick enough that this won't just burn through it, as long as you're moving at a steady pace. All right, here we go. Well, I thought, yeah, that's good. It's really weird. I'm sitting here with my finger on the finger control and have my foot on the foot pedal, pressing the foot pedal. Like that is what was controlling the heat. It's just a habit. All right, getting there now. And again, this video is just to give you guys ideas on when you're making your pieces, or you see pieces I've made, like with leaf. You have an idea now of how it's done, how I get the veins and vines and whatever you want to call them on there. This is how we do it. Get my prop and put it there, make it a little easier. And I'm just trying to make the edges and whatnot just as natural as possible. So there's art even in the way those are formed. And like I say, after I get everything welded up, I'll go back and smooth some of the welds, add a little bit more filler in certain spots, just kind of make it blend a little bit better. But right now it's really just getting everything tacked up. This is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And people love these things. I'm sure they'll love this. We normally make the other single leaf that you guys, I think I've showed you. If not, I'll put a photo up of it. But people love that thing. They buy it like crazy. So we just decided to do something a little bit different with this piece. The piece with the single leaf is called leaf. Maybe we'll call this double leaf or something to that effect. Or leaf 2. All right, the last one. And these are I mentioned it in the video when I showed you guys the piece laying on the ground. These pieces come out of the center of the 2 loops that we made. There was a front and back to each loop. So I took the front and back center pieces out, laid them together, and just, you know, grinded them till they were identical. And that's how we came up with this shape. I left it exactly as it was when it came out of the center of the loops. I just kind of cleaned it up a little bit. I didn't change the shape of it at all. And like I said before in another video, when you are cutting out a shape that you have drawn up or whatever, always look at the piece that falls on the floor, because those are some of the nicest pieces, and they're oftentimes pieces that you never would have thought of. We call them drops. So just something to think about. All right. Now on the front of this piece, the 3/8 rod is kind of protruding, kind of sticking up, kind of tall. I'll see if I can show it to you guys what I'm talking about. The front of this looks like a rod. It's just straight up and down. So what I'm gonna do is take my torch, heat it up, and kind of roll it so it'll look more natural. Because right now it looks like I took a piece of rod and just stuck it on there. So I'm gonna clamp it down, because if I don't clamp it down and I heat this weld up, it's gonna pop up. And so that's how you guys can use your Tig torch to shape things. I do it all the time. If I don't like the way something is shaped, I'll take the Tig torch with the heat and roll the edge or whatever I need to do. You'll be surprised at what you can do with a Tig torch. You can't do it with a MIG, because a MIG you point and shoot, but a Tig you control the puddle, you control everything. Wherever you point the Tig welder, if I want it, say if I'm welding here and I want to pull this that way, I can take this Tig torch, I can pull the puddle any direction I want to go with it. With a MIG, it's like I said, it's point, and you got to drag the MIG, drag whatever you want it to go. But with this, I can make a puddle and pull the puddle this way, that way, that way. It doesn't matter. I can do anything I want to. It's Tig torch. All right, let me see if I can get in here and make this look a little bit better. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but once I clean it up, it'll look more like it's a part of the art and not just something stuck on there. So now it rolls a little bit more than it did. If I wanted to, I could make it roll even further back than that, but it's not necessary. So what I'm gonna do now is just go back and clean these up, and that'll be pretty much it. Let me move this, make adjustments to the camera. All right, guys. That's pretty much going to do it for this video. And again, I was just kind of showing you guys how we make pieces like leaf, just to add something, you know, to your quiver, if you will. You don't have to be guessing and trying to figure out how this stuff is done. It's really not that difficult to do. It's just having some guidance, and that's what this channel is basically about, just guiding you guys and leading you guys and showing you guys tricks as far as how this stuff is done. Again, none of it's difficult. It's just a matter of just getting knowledge to do it. So you guys can take this idea and just come up with your own style. Don't have it looking like mine, because the worst thing that artist can do is copy someone else's work. I know you guys are not going to do that, but just come up with your own ideas, your own shapes, and just use what I've taught you, and just start building stuff and start doing shows. I think I'm gonna do a video sometime soon on how to get shows and how to get, you know, involved in shows, how to sign up for shows, and how to take pictures of your work, because these organizers want pictures and whatnot in a specific way. They want to be have a booth shot of your pieces in a booth. So there's a kind of a learning curve to all of it, but it's stuff that we can show you. It's not difficult. It's just having to have someone show you how it's done. And if you continue watching this channel, like I'm sure you will, I would reveal all of that stuff to you guys. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. Again, this is Brian Tubbs coming at you with secrets that I don't reveal at shows, but I reveal to you guys. And so with that, as usual, like, subscribe, and peace out. Thanks for watching.